Every morning, millions of people brew ginger tea or add ginger to their smoothies, trusting they're fighting inflammation effectively. The wellness industry has spent decades promoting ginger as a powerful anti-inflammatory superfood, and the research backs up many of these claims. However, there's a critical gap between the impressive results seen in scientific studies and the modest improvements most people actually experience at home. The reason for this disconnect has been hiding in plain sight, and understanding it could transform your entire approach to inflammation management. Here's the truth that research reveals, but few people understand. Ginger alone cannot address all the pathways through which inflammation attacks your body. You're only tapping into a fraction of its potential when you use it by itself. This isn't just theory or speculation. This is backed by peer-reviewed scientific research showing that a specific combination can multiply ginger's effectiveness in ways that seem almost too good to be true. Today, we're diving into the science that explains why ginger underperforms when used alone. And more importantly, I'm giving you the exact 3-ingredient formula that unlocks its full anti-inflammatory power. If you're dealing with joint pain, digestive problems, chronic fatigue, or brain fog, this information could be the breakthrough you've been searching for. The science is solid, the results are measurable, and the solution is remarkably simple to implement. Before we dive deeper, if you're new to our channel, welcome to a community dedicated to evidence-based health strategies that actually deliver results. We're committed to cutting through marketing hype and bringing you information backed by real scientific research. Hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss our deep dive videos where we uncover health truths that can make a real difference in your life. And here's something we love doing. Drop a comment telling us which country you're watching from. We have viewers all over the world, and knowing where you are helps us create content that resonates with our global community. Now let's uncover the ginger secret that changes everything. Let's understand what makes ginger genuinely powerful. Ginger contains bioactive compounds called gingerols and shogols. Research has extensively documented their anti-inflammatory properties. Studies in peer-reviewed journals show these compounds specifically target cycloidase 2, known as COX-2, the same enzyme many pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory drugs block. When you consume ginger, gingerols inhibit this enzyme, reducing inflammatory prostaglandin production in your body. Ginger's mechanism extends beyond cycloogenase 2 inhibition. Research demonstrates it affects the nuclear factor kappa B pathway, a critical regulator of inflammatory responses. When activated, this pathway triggers production of inflammatory cytokines like tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin-1 beta, and interleukin-6. Ginger compounds suppress this pathway, reducing inflammatory signaling. Multiple studies confirm ginger consumption decreases these inflammatory markers in humans. Research on ginger's anti-inflammatory effects spans various conditions. Clinical trials examining rheumatoid arthritis show improvements in pain and joint function. Studies on ulcerative colitis document reduced inflammatory markers with regular ginger consumption. The evidence base is substantial, with numerous controlled trials demonstrating measurable benefits across inflammatory conditions. However, here's the critical insight most people miss. Ginger's effectiveness has significant limitations alone. While it excels at fighting inflammation inside cells, penetrating where inflammatory damage occurs at the DNA level, research shows it performs poorly at protecting cell membranes from inflammatory attack. This is crucial because inflammation operates on multiple fronts simultaneously. It doesn't just attack your cell interior, it also assaults the outer membranes protecting those cells. Think of inflammation as a two-stage invasion. First, inflammatory molecules attack cell membranes, compromising their integrity. Then, once defenses are breached, inflammation penetrates deeper, reaching the nucleus where genetic material resides. Ginger addresses the second stage effectively, but leaves you vulnerable at the first defense line. This explains why people using ginger regularly experience some benefits, but not the dramatic transformations research suggests should be possible. This brings us to the game-changing discovery. Combining ginger with two specific ingredients creates a synergistic effect, addressing inflammation comprehensively. The first critical addition is flaxseed oil. The second is black pepper. Let me explain why each matters scientifically. Flaxseed oil contains exceptionally high concentrations of alpha-linoleic acid, abbreviated ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. Research published in cardiovascular and nutritional science journals documents that ALA possesses powerful anti-inflammatory properties, particularly at the cellular membrane level. Clinical studies show regular flaxseed oil consumption reduces key inflammatory biomarkers, including C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, and tumor necrosis factor alpha. These are markers doctors measure when assessing patient inflammation levels. What makes flaxseed oil particularly valuable is how it works differently from ginger. While ginger fights inflammation inside cells, flaxseed oil's omega-3 fatty acids integrate directly into cell membrane structures, making them more stable and resistant to inflammatory attack. Research demonstrates omega-3 fatty acids modify membrane composition, reducing inflammatory signaling. When cell membranes contain adequate omega-3 fatty acids, they become less prone to releasing inflammatory mediators in response to stress or damage. Black pepper becomes essential here. Black pepper contains piperine, scientifically validated as a bioavailability enhancer. Piperine's discovery represents a breakthrough in nutritional science. Studies show piperine increases nutrient absorption by inhibiting enzymes that would otherwise break them down in the liver and intestine. Specifically relevant to our formula, research documents piperine enhances gingerol bioavailability from ginger through multiple mechanisms, inhibiting drug metabolizing enzymes, increasing intestinal blood flow, and modifying intestinal cell membrane structure to facilitate nutrient absorption. Additionally, studies suggest piperine may amplify omega-3 fatty acids' anti-inflammatory effects, making flaxseed oil work more effectively. When you combine ginger, flaxseed oil, and black pepper, you create a comprehensive anti-inflammatory formula working at multiple levels simultaneously. Understanding how these three components work together requires grasping synergy. Synergy means the combined effect exceeds the simple sum of individual effects. When you take ginger, flaxseed oil, and black pepper together, you're not just adding benefits, you're multiplying them through complementary action mechanisms. Let's walk through the process step by step. When you consume this combination, black pepper's piperine immediately works in your digestive system. Research shows piperine modifies the intestinal lining, enhancing nutrient absorption. It increases gastrointestinal tract blood flow and stimulates digestive enzymes. This preparation phase means when ginger compounds arrive, they're absorbed more efficiently than alone. Studies document absorption increases ranging from 30% to several 100% depending on specific compounds and dosage. Simultaneously, flaxseed oil begins its journey through your system. The alpha-linolenic acid it contains doesn't need the same absorption enhancement because fats are naturally well absorbed. However, piperine presence may still amplify its anti-inflammatory effects through mechanisms researchers continue investigating. As ALA circulates through your bloodstream, it incorporates into cell membranes throughout your body, beginning the structural strengthening process, making cells more resistant to inflammatory damage. Meanwhile, enhanced ginger compound absorption means higher bloodstream concentrations and subsequently your cells. These ginger rolls now penetrate cells more effectively where they suppress inflammatory pathways and protect cellular machinery from oxidative damage. The beauty of this system is timing. While ginger quickly addresses active inflammation, omega-3 fatty acids from flaxseed oil provide longer-term structural protection. This multi-level approach explains why the combination produces results superior to any single ingredient. You're simultaneously attacking existing inflammation with ginger, fortifying cell membranes with flaxseed oil, and amplifying both effects with black pepper. It's like having an immediate response fire extinguisher combined with fire-resistant building materials and a system making both work more efficiently. Each component has a distinct role, and together they create comprehensive inflammatory protection. Now, let me give you the precise recipe, bringing the science into practical application. This formula has been developed based on research evidence and clinical experience with inflammatory conditions. You'll need 5 simple ingredients: fresh ginger juice, high quality flaxseed oil, fresh lemon juice, black pepper, and warm water. Here are exact measurements: 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger juice, 1 teaspoon of flaxseed oil, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, a pinch of black pepper, and 1 glass of warm water. Let me explain each component's role. Fresh ginger juice provides concentrated gingerols in their most bioavailable form. To obtain ginger juice, grate fresh ginger root and squeeze it through a fine mesh strainer or cheesecloth, or use a juice extractor if available. The flaxseed oil must be high quality and properly stored. This is crucial because omega-3 fatty acids are highly susceptible to oxidation when exposed to heat, light, and air. Always purchase flaxseed oil in dark glass bottles, keep it refrigerated, and use before expiration. Lemon juice serves multiple purposes. Adds vitamin C, which is itself anti-inflammatory, helps emulsify oil for better water mixing and improves taste. Black pepper provides piperine, and you need only a pinch for the bioavailability enhancing effect. To prepare this inflammation-fighting drink, start with warm water. The water should be comfortably warm, but not hot, as high temperatures can degrade beneficial compounds. Add your teaspoon of fresh ginger juice, followed by flaxseed oil, then lemon juice and black pepper. Because oil and water don't naturally mix well, combine them vigorously. The best method is pouring everything into a shaker bottle and shaking well for about 15 to 20 seconds. This creates a temporary emulsion, making the drink more pleasant to consume and may improve absorption. Timing matters for optimal results. Take this formula once daily on an empty stomach. You have 2 ideal windows. First thing in the morning, approximately 20 to 30 minutes before breakfast, or in the afternoon between lunch and dinner. Choose whichever timing fits your schedule better. Understanding what to expect and when helps you track progress and stay motivated. Based on research studies and clinical observations, here's a realistic timeline of improvements you may experience with consistent use of this anti-inflammatory formula. During the first few days, many people notice digestive improvements. This makes biological sense because ginger has direct gastrointestinal system effects, helping reduce bloating, gas, and digestive discomfort. Research has documented ginger's ability to enhance gastric motility and reduce gut lining inflammation. You might also feel slightly more energetic, though dramatic energy improvements typically come later as systemic inflammation decreases. By the first week's end, joint pain and stiffness often begin diminishing. This is particularly noticeable for people experiencing morning stiffness. Clinical studies on ginger supplementation in arthritis patients have documented improvements in pain scores and joint function within this time frame. Omega-3 fatty acids from flaxseed oil are beginning to integrate into cell membranes, providing structural support, making tissues less susceptible to inflammatory damage. As you move into the second week, effects typically become more pronounced. This timing correlates with research showing it takes approximately 10 to 14 days for dietary omega-3 fatty acids to significantly alter cell membrane composition throughout the body. Many people report substantial chronic pain reductions, particularly joint and muscle pain. Digestive improvements continue with less bloating, more regular bowel movements, and reduced meal discomfort. One commonly reported benefit by week 2 is improved mental clarity, brain fog. That frustrating mental sluggishness and difficulty concentrating often lifts substantially. This occurs because chronic inflammation affects brain function, and as systemic inflammation decreases, cognitive performance improves. Research has documented the connection between inflammatory markers and cognitive function, showing inflammation reduction can enhance mental processing speed and memory. Energy levels typically increase noticeably during this period. When cells function more efficiently without constant inflammatory stress, your body requires less energy for repair processes and is more available for daily activities. Studies examining inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein have documented reductions of 50% or more within 2 to 4 weeks of anti-inflammatory interventions. We've covered substantial ground today, and I hope this information has opened your eyes to a more effective approach to using ginger for inflammation. The fundamental message is clear. Ginger is genuinely powerful, but its effectiveness multiplies dramatically when combined with flaxseed oil to protect cell membranes and black pepper to enhance absorption. Together, these three components create a synergistic formula addressing inflammation comprehensively at multiple biological levels. The science supporting this combination is solid. Research has documented ginger's ability to inhibit COX-2 and suppress inflammatory pathways. Studies have shown flaxseed oil's omega-3 fatty acids reduce key inflammatory markers and strengthen cell membranes. Clinical trials have validated piperine's role as a bioavailability enhancer, amplifying other compounds' effects. When you combine these three ingredients, according to the formula I've shared, you create a powerful daily practice, significantly reducing body inflammation. Remember, this isn't about replacing medical treatment for serious health conditions. If you're dealing with chronic inflammatory diseases, always work with your healthcare provider. However, this formula represents a natural evidence-based approach to supporting your body's anti-inflammatory processes that you can implement alongside other treatments. If this video was helpful, kindly type yes in the comment. That single word motivates us tremendously to continue researching and producing content like this.